3 more fights to go in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and let's get ready now for Juan Diaz against Randy Suico. Diaz is from Houston, Texas, celebrated as a student of the University of Houston downtown. He's 1.5 years away from earning an undergraduate college degree and says he wants to go to law school, and all of this goes on, of course, against the backdrop of a full-time professional boxing career. Not easy. He's 4 years younger than Suico. Diaz is the 135-pound fighter who spent his whole career in that weight class, sometimes fighting as high as 144 pounds. Suico is moving up from 130. Most recently, he fought at 131, coming up in weight to seek Diaz's title belt. A 2.5-inch height advantage for Suico. Equal in arm length. Both weighed in right at the 135-pound limit. Unofficially tonight, Diaz up to 144, Suico to 142. You're always wondering when the next Filipino fighter you see is going to be another Manny Pacquiao. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Juan Diaz-Randy Suico fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
And here comes Randy Suico, as we mentioned. First fight at this weight limit. He comes from the middle island of the Philippines, not the same island as Pacquiao. And in recent years, a tremendous rising tide of fighters from the Pacific Rim. Here comes another one. We all remember that Manny Pacquiao was an underdog against South Africa's Leshinola Ledwaba 4 years ago here in Las Vegas, when suddenly he popped.
And opened the door for fighters like Suico, whose father was a 6'1" lightweight and had 60 professional fights. He sparred with Manny Pacquiao and says he's surprised at how well Manny has done, because when he sparred with him, Manny, he said, was extremely raw and unschooled.
But he did say that Manny punched hard, even though he was smaller than him. He said he still had a pretty good punch even back then.
Now here comes Diaz. He is as fluid a combination punching machine as any fighter in the sport, Emmanuel Stewart.
Yes, he's tremendously exciting little fighter, and as you said, everything flows so natural, so loose, so effortless. And he loves to throw punches, lots of them.
You think that has anything to do with his training methods, which are a little unusual, that he doesn't do road work? He does work on various machines and swimming.
Yeah, he likes to swim, he said, and the Stairmaster, with the Stairmaster is more blue, me personally, than running is. But it's everybody has their own thing, but the results is what counts. He's always in great shape, and he wins a lot of his fights because of his tremendous stamina and ability to throw so many punches. So if it works for him, good for him. I think with the schedule that he has anyway, it may be difficult for him to actually go running anyway.
All right, let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Golden Boy Promotions and Main Events, in association with Rockstar Party Like a Rockstar and Southwest Airlines, present the first of 2 world title bouts sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. At ringside, scoring this contest are your 3 judges, Chuck Jampa, Paul Smith, and Glenn Trowbridge. And inside the ring, the referee in charge, Joe Cortez. And now from the MGM Grand, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, official weight 135 pounds. His professional record, 24 victories, including 21 knockouts and only 2 defeats. From Mandaue City, Cebu, Philippines, the challenger, the Filipino Hands of Stone, Randy Suico. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, official weight 135 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 29 bouts, 29 victories, including 14 knockouts. From Houston, Texas, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBA lightweight champion of the world, Juan Baby Bull Diaz.
All right, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen. We follow the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all time. Trunks here are good. Your trunks here are very high. Punches here will still be good, okay? Obey my commands at all time. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.
In a sense, every fight Diaz fights at this stage is an audition to fight the better-known lightweights like Diego Corrales and Acelino Freitas.
Diaz lacks the power to blow people up in short fights. Increasingly, it appears he'll spend most of his career having to hunt people down for 12 rounds and outwork them with his amazingly fluid combination punching style. Does it mean, Emmanuel Stewart, a relatively short career?
I would say so. It's very difficult for a fighter who throws a lot of punches like he does and doesn't have a big punch to last a long career. So he'd better have all the success before he hits age 30.
Right now, it's a phone booth fight as Randy Suico has come to try to match his power against Juan Diaz is at close range, and Diaz is getting a chance to unload against a guy who's moving up in weight, never having weighed more than 131 pounds at a weigh-in before.
Suico is not utilizing his height at all. See, they could be the same height for us concerned. But I tell you what, I've still been impressed with his punching power.
But look at the intensity of Diaz as he backs Suico into the ropes with a series of left hooks to the body and right hands upstairs.
Very exciting fighter, and he's going to do that all night. And particularly in this case here where the guy's not boxing, not taking advantage of his height, just sitting there fighting his fight.
Well, and here you see at this phase of the round that Diaz is willing to box him.
Well, in his last fight against Jose Miguel Cotto, Diaz showed that he could do 3 or 4 different things. He changed the pace. He boxed. He slugged. He fought at a faster pace. Then he slowed it down from time to time. He did a variety of different things that kept Cotto off balance and gave him constant initiatives in the fight. And there he rises out of the crouch, fires a big 1-2 upstairs, goes right back to the body punching behind a protective guard.
Yeah. Well, his punches create a lot of excitement in the manner in which he delivers them. But believe it or not, probably just for the pure punching power, I believe that Suico is a better puncher, but his punches are not that, impressive the way that he delivers them. But he seems to be a stiffer puncher.
I think that may be true, but on the other hand, how long will Suico's punching power stand up after the body punishment which Diaz is going to deal out? And Diaz, part of his game plan is to land body shots and ultimately take the starch out of the fighter in front of him. Look at Diaz block 3 or 4 shots from Suico and immediately come out of the defensive stance with a combination like that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Diaz is fighting the perfect fight, which he was supposed to fight. Suico is not fighting the fight that he should fight.
Uppercut by Diaz. Another uppercut with the other hand. Watching the fluidity with which Diaz delivers his punches and how easily he puts 3 and 4 and 5 punch combinations together, Emmanuel, I have to believe that swimming instead of running is going to become a trend.
It was just the opposite. When I was coming up, I would never hardly go swimming too much because it left me too exhausted and drained.
When we go to this corner, where they will be speaking the language of Randy Suico, our interpreter is Edward De La Vega. It is not Tagalog, it is the dialect of Cebu, the island from which Randy Suico hails.
Ubirhan upper.
Overhand. Give him an uppercut. Stay away from him. When you jab, give him an uppercut after. Cover your face. Defense, defense. Come on. You can take him out. Stay from the distance.
Utung. Gitian ka, utung. Ginawa.
CompuBox numbers in round one tell quite a story. Juan Diaz, 41 out of 78. Randy Suico, 8 out of 89. In other words, Suico landed less than 1/10 of his punches by CompuBox count, and Diaz landed more than 50% of his. Amazing.
It's amazing, man. He's going to keep this pace up the entire fight, too.
Come on, watch them heads inside, watch their heads. Watch that shoulder inside, watch that shoulder, Diaz.
Diaz is the long-term product of a gym that's run by a man named Willie Savannah in Houston. He's had a lot of amateurs over the years.
Well, his first superstar amateur was a guy named Ronnie Shields, who in 74, 75, and 76 was one of the best amateur boxers ever. And as an amateur, he had a victory over Thomas Hearns in 75. Hearns beat him in 77, but also Ronnie Shields is working now with him as an assistant coach with Diaz.
Well, in fact, Ronnie is the primary trainer. Savannah still helps out. I ran into Ronnie in the hallway yesterday. I said, I think quite obviously you're working with a fighter whom you expect to do the same thing every time out. And Ronnie smiled and said, I don't ever expect to see a more consistent prize fighter than Juan Diaz.
Yeah, and right now the pace and the tempo is taking its toll already on Suico.
Suico lunging a little bit here in the second round, pushing some of his punches as he tries to make an impact against Diaz, who just keeps coming and keeps throwing those withering combinations at close range.
And as Ronnie said, consistent all the way, and eventually just going to be a short left hook he's going to bring up to the chin, because his body punches slowly making Suico drop his right hand more as they get inside and close.
Look at the accuracy. That is just stunning, the accuracy with which Juan Diaz can find the target, as he did there with the left hook and the chopping right hand. Randy Suico's trying to fight fire with fire. Suico's whole game plan is, well, all right, if he's going to throw 100 punches, maybe I can throw 130. And the result is he's leaving himself open to Diaz's combination.
Yeah, he's fighting in Diaz's fight. And you know, you remember, when you get a lot of time a puncher, which is basically what Suico is, when you make him fight at a faster pace than he wants to fight at, he loses his punching power.
Get him up, come on, get him up.
Body shot by Diaz, perfect right hand upstairs. No one punch is thudding. Every punch is properly placed. It was confusing for a while in the 135-pound division when Julio Diaz from Coachella, California, who throws about 120, 130 punches around, had a title belt. And so did Juan Diaz from Houston, who throws about 120, 130 punches. But over the last couple of years, Juan has separated himself.
Okay, listen. Look, you don't have to be that close to him. Yeah. I want you to, when you touch him with the jab, that's where I want you, right there, okay? I don't want you too close to him right now, okay? Look, you right there, he's still trying to shoot them uppercuts, but you know what? When you're here with the jab, he can't get him in. You got him missing all day. Okay? So just keep using the jab like that, and then pop him with that right hand, okay? Use that right hand. The right hand is there for you, but double the jab and then shoot that right hand. Okay? Yeah.
You got to bring that jab hand back.
Right here, you see him landing the left hook, and that's going to be a key punch in this fight as the fight progresses more.
He's such a rhythm fighter, is Diaz. It's remarkable to see him actually make an adjustment. When he looks up and says, oh, I landed that left hook, I think I'll throw it again.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to vary the shoulder roll slightly because he's in a rhythm to throw every punch one hand at a time, you know?
And it's fortunate for him, too. You don't have any veteran-type, very good cagey fighters who can make him have to fight at a distance. These guys that he's fighting are fighting right the way that he wants them to fight. He wants them to fight, and at the distance. that he's effective at.
So is he ready for a Corrales or a Freitas?
Diego Corrales, I would say yes, because Diego still keeps his head up. He does a lot of things, but he doesn't move his head that well. So I think he would be fairly effective. It may be a little too strong maybe for Diego still, even though he's short. But Diego still possesses that big punch.
Always dangerous to fight a puncher like Corrales.
Yeah, Diego can punch. That's
at any stage of your career. As far as Freitas is concerned, I think Juan Diaz is simply a better boxer. He would land more punches against Freitas.
Yeah, Freitas, yeah, I think he would do very well with Freitas.
Boom. Left hook, right cross combination. Oh, I liked it. I'll do it again. Brilliant, solid connects for Juan Diaz. Incidentally, the copy box numbers in round 2 were almost the same as in round 1.
Oh, it's going to be
44 out of 84 for Diaz, 11 out of 89 for Suico. Suico's just making it too easy for Juan Diaz.
Yeah, he's not using his height, not doing anything different. Very, very basic, very predictable.
Diaz almost has a grin on his face as this continues to evolve toward a sparring session type fight.
And he's getting paid good for this sparring session. And he doesn't have to pay the opponent his regular sparring partner pay.
If something different happens, we'll let you know. But now the fight has settled into a repeating pattern, minute after minute, round after round. The third round is coming to a close. It looks a great deal like the two which preceded it, and this has been a walk in the park so far for Juan Diaz of Houston, Texas.
All right. Check out the corner.
Fernando Vargas arriving at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Over the years, many big assignments here in Las Vegas. Of course, most memorably, his fights with Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, and the first fight with Shane Mosley last February 25. Vargas somewhat subdued yesterday, apparently another struggle to make weight, but more energy this time around. A hug from the famous cut man, Joe Souza. Vargas will have a different cut man in the corner tonight than was the case in February because he believes that his eye deserved better treatment than it got from the staff he had with him that night. Still only 28 years old, he was the most precocious star fighter of his era at a time when he fought Trinidad as an unbeaten fighter, for instance, at age 22. How much does Fernando Vargas have left? Harold Letterman, how have you scored the first 3 rounds of Diaz-Suico?
Look at Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Juan Diaz. Jim, I gotta tell you something. What part of tied me up doesn't Randy Suico understand? I mean, there hasn't been a clinch in this fight. You think when he get hit with one of those monster shots that he would tie the guy up, but he never does. I mean, he's bigger, he's taller, got longer arms. I think that's the first clinch in the fight. It's amazing. But be as it may, Juan Diaz, great defense, arms up high, elbows in tight, landing the hardest shots. 3-0, Diaz.
You're saying the tie doesn't know how to tie him up.
Not really, Larry. He really should tie him up once in a while.
I think it's a cultural trait. I think you'll rarely see an Asian fighter tie anybody up. They like to throw.
I misspoke. I said he was a Thai. Obviously, he's a Filipino fighter.
We're going to see a Thai fighter later on.
We're going to see a Thai fighter later on. Well, I guess the saying is like baseball players in the Caribbean. You know, you got to hit your way off the island. You can't box your way off the island any more than in baseball you can walk off the island.
What an amazing display of punching accuracy Juan Diaz is putting on. He has landed more than 50% of his punches in the fight. He's landing power shots at about a 60% connect rate.
He's doing a fantastic job when you look at the facial features of Suico and realize that it looks as if he hasn't even been hit with one punch still. It's amazing.
Suico can take it, but Diaz is dishing it out with astonishing consistency. And incidentally, you'll notice that Suico's punches have no impact anymore.
No,
those were all pity-pat shots.
Yeah, he was punching very good in the beginning, but now he's throwing a few pity-pat punches, but then he'll try to set you up and then throw a power shot in between after he relaxes you. But for the most part, the fight is going strictly in the direction of Diaz.
Just amazing energy with which Diaz puts his combinations together. It's thrilling to watch.
And even though he's landed all of those punches, he has not seriously ever hurt Suico.
No, if he had knockout power, he'd be headlining pay-per-views right now.
Oh, yes.
If he had knockout power, he'd be one of the biggest attractions in the sport at this very moment because he has everything else. Personality, he's physically attractive, he has an amazing fighting style, some of the fastest hands in the sport. He misses only one thing.
What I'm impressed with here is also his defense. He's got his
Suico has changed up now. He's punching with power now.
He's got his gloves up. He's, for all the punches he lands, he's not that open to be hit in return.
No, in fact, Suico's landing at about a 10% connect rate because Diaz blocks most of what he's throwing.
Randy, how are you doing?
It's nothing. It's nothing. You can handle it.
You want to keep fighting?
There's no power in
Okay,
it.
listen, my man. You taking a lot of
You can
punches
take
here
the
to the
punch.
head. You gotta show me something. You understand? I'm here to protect you.
Yeah, no.
I'm here to protect your fighter. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Safety first and foremost. Remember that, Joe.
Okay.
All right.
No, wait.
Excellent.
They never let Suico sit down during the entire rest period.
Well, you heard the concern,
All right, check us out.
and it's pretty well placed when you consider that by CompuBox numbers. Listen to this, guys. Juan Diaz landed 50 of 74 punches in the last round. That's a nearly 70% connect rate. His accuracy remains astonishing.
And also I heard the referee, Joe Cortez, tell Suico if he doesn't start returning punches back, he may stop the fight.
Funny thing is, Suico is firing back.
guys.
It's just that virtually everything is getting blocked and then barged back into his face by Diaz's gloves.
And he can't match Diaz punch or punch anyway. That's just not his style anyway.
Well, and you know, I mean, look, we're saying, are you going to answer back? He threw 94 punches in the last round. It didn't matter much. He only landed 11 of them. But he's had a field day pounding Diaz's arms and gloves.
You think that Pacquiao, who is a featherweight fighting at 130, could fight somebody like Diaz, Manny?
No, I don't think because Diaz is really struggling to keep his weight down from being a junior welterweight. I think he would be too strong. But you can never tell because one thing Manny does have is a tremendous good punch.
Hey, Juan. Give me this out, my man. Give him on. Let's go.
This is almost textbook stuff from Diaz.
Yep. And you know, I know Joe Cortez is looking for any excuse to possibly stop it, but Suico has never actually staggered from any of those blows.
This is like one of those showcase sparring sessions where you call people up and bring them to the gym to say, you got to see Diaz today. He's going to do 6 rounds against Suico, and it'll be the most amazing thing you've ever seen. If this was in Kronk, Emmanuel Stewart's legendary facility in Detroit, there'd be 100 people standing at ringside, enthralled with what they're watching.
Oh, they would be clapping hands, but you wouldn't see it just one side of the club. If it's like this, believe it or not, we stop workouts like this quickly in the gym. When we see one guy getting hit too much, we just stop it right away and tell him that's it.
On to what comes next in the Kronk Wars, huh?
Yep. When they start the workouts at the gym, the cheer goes off, let the beatings begin, and that's when the wars start.
Do you think Jermaine Taylor's 6 weeks in Kronk were instrumental in setting up his performance against Winky Wright?
I think so, because realizing that he was not going to beat Winky on technical skills, he was tough enough to throw 10, 15 punches at a time instead of the regular 1 or 2 in clinch. And he punched with enough authority that even though Winky kept his gloves up, he punched so hard on Winky's gloves that Winky's own gloves busted his face up.
Okay? I do. I need the jab to go for me. I'm going to give you this water. Rinse this one first. Keep it out there, though. Okay. Rinse this one first. Next round, let Joe come up. Okay. That cut. Yeah, on the left. Yeah. Now listen, the jab is perfect, okay? We ain't got no problems with the jab, but you got to be consistent with double jab, not one. Okay. Okay? We don't need one jab. We need more than one, okay?
Okay. I'm watching him close.
You know, they're never letting this fighter sit down to get any rest, even though he's fatigued. Right here, you see a precision punches, one behind another. 3 punches, full impact landed, no rolling of the shoulders or anything.
Power punches through 5. Juan Diaz, 155 out of 236. I don't know if I've ever seen a better number than that. Randy Suico, 51 out of 131. Every round so far scored by Harold Letterman for Juan Diaz as he heads toward a shutout. 301 power shots thrown by Suico. He's thrown 65 more than Diaz, but he's landed 104 fewer. Amazing.
The tall fighter stands toe-to-toe with the shorter fighter. The shorter fighter just has a bigger target to hit at.
That's correct. And also, you got the handicap. The taller fighter is not that coordinated at a closer range as far as delivery of his punches as compared to the shorter fighter.
And the shorter fighter is putting on a show. There it is again.
Yep, you got 3 shots off before Suico could get 1 punch off.
And we're out of that range, Emmanuel. We're beyond this area where Suico's face didn't show the damage. Suico's face is beginning to show the fact that Diaz is landing and landing with intensity over and over.
And you have to give Diaz credit. He must be in good shape himself to keep throwing punches like this. Because even though he's winning the fight, it's still taking a lot out of him to keep throwing those punches.
Well, in his last fight against Jose Miguel Cotto, he threw 120 punches in the 12th round and looked fresh as a daisy.
Amazing.
Just like that. The way he goes back and sets up the defensive envelope as soon as he throws a 5, 6, 7 punch combination shows remarkable discipline and shows the training skills of Ronnie Shields, really.
Oh, fantastic. But he's been a standout from his amateur days when he was a legend in, when everyone was talking about the little kid from Texas that could do just what he's doing now. We throw so many punches and with such accuracy.
Lives at home with his mother. Doesn't have a girlfriend at this moment, at least not a steady one, because that would be too big a distraction amid the ongoing professional boxing career and the full load of undergraduate college education at the University of Houston downtown. Quite a young man, Juan Diaz of Houston.
Studying the expression on Joe Cortez's face, I know he's looking for any excuse where he can stop this fight. But because of things like what Suico is doing now, he can't stop it.
Exactly. Suico's still fighting with all his heart.
Fighting, and has never been seriously staggered.
And here's Sugar Shane Mosley fight veteran, no stranger to this scene. Of course, he is a promoting partner in Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, and therefore an all-encompassing professional in the sport, a manager of fighters, a promoter of fighters, endorsement relationships outside the sport. His father, Jack Mosley, behind him, back to train him after a 4-fight hiatus. In the intervening 4 fights, Mosley fought very well, fighting once for trainer Joe Goosen in the second fight against Winky Wright, and then 3 times as a winner with John David Jackson. But when Jackson went to New Orleans to train Bernard Hopkins for his fight with Antonio Tarver, Mosley couldn't make an accommodation with him, wanted to train in his natural habitat of Big Bear, California, and at the end of the day, the trainer he found most willing to go to Big Bear was his dad.
You think that's a good thing, Emmanuel? I mean, that he preferred where he was comfortable at rather than being with the trainers who had gotten the most out of him?
Well, you know, it depends on the situation. But, you know, when they first decided to change trainers from his dad, I was the first guy that they'd ask. And I told him that the fact that he wanted to train entirely in Big Bear, I found that very difficult for me. But it's been effective for him up there. So, you know, I would leave it at that.
Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 6-0, 60-54, Juan Diaz. Jim, I know a lot of people are going to say maybe we should score some of these rounds 10-8 instead of 10-9, but Randy Suico keeps punching back. He may be a little bit too brave for his own good, but he does keep punching back, so he takes a really big Juan Diaz round and turns it back into a 10-9 round. 6-0, Juan Diaz.
Yeah, some of these might be 10-8 rounds if Diaz had the punching power to hurt Suico with all these shots, but it hasn't happened. I guess what I mean is hurt him more badly than he's hurting him. There's no way you hit a guy this many times solidly without hurting him.
It's amazing. I think it's attributed to the fact that Diaz is not a devastating puncher, but he punches good enough to have did damage, except for this guy just has a great chin, I think, also. But I've noticed never once have they let Suico sit down between rounds. He stands every round.
You wonder why they put the stool in there.
Well, now we go back to George Foreman again, because Foreman's argument was it takes more energy to sit down and then stand up than simply to go there, stand, and rest.
Well, that was true for a 260-pound guy, but here's a fighter who weighs half that.
George was a very relaxed fighter all throughout his second career.
He could have been wearing pajamas in there. That's how relaxed he was. He would shuffle from corner to corner, and then, oh, by the way, I'll hit you with a big shot.
Suico looks like he has a little bit of edge so far in this round. Yep. This might be a round that we have to score for him, and much to his credit, given how many punches he's absorbed up to now.
You can see a little wear and tear on Diaz now. It's definitely
spirited effort from Randy Suico. Many of those punches blocked, but his effort sticks out all over. Randy Suico not wilting in the fight.
I would give Suico that round.
Here's Marco Antonio Barrera at ringside, and earlier today, Barrera held a news conference along with Rocky Juarez announcing a rematch of their battle from earlier this summer in Los Angeles, the fight which ended up ultimately a victory for Barrera in what had originally been at ringside ruled a draw. Juarez has a strong argument that he was the one who was coming on strong down the stretch of the fight, and now he'll get another crack at Barrera on September 16. Beware of Marco Antonio Barrera in a rematch. Adjustments coming.
Very smart fighter.
I guess the stool is in there because sitting down is optional and the fighter decides.
CompuBox numbers in round 7. Juan Diaz only threw 51 punches in the round, basically taking a round off. He still landed 10 more blows than did Suico, who was 13 out of 110. But Harold Letterman agrees with the gentleman next to me and decides to give the round to Randy Suico, who finally gets on the board. Now let's see if Diaz picks up the pace again in this round after having basically cut his punch output in half there in round number 7. Everybody has to take a vacation sometime.
On the 7th round, he rested.
Hold time! Get in that corner, get in that corner. Come here. Come on. Come on, just cut it off, just cut it off. All right, come on, let's go. Get back in this corner over here. Get over here. All right, time in.
No nonsense referee Joe Cortez gets the tape cut and the fight back in the middle of the ring in a matter of seconds. Emmanuel, you ever train a fighter who makes noise on every punch like Diaz?
No, and I think it's a bad habit too, because sometimes usually it's hard to throw a flow of combinations because you try to keep making a noise to keep up with each punch. But the stage right here, it's very interesting that Suico is coming back and actually is punching with power himself periodically.
Yeah, well, Diaz could have stopped with that stuff right there. Series of left hooks batters Suico back into the corner. That was one of those rapid-fire flurries that says to you, Diaz took a little time off, marshaled his energy a little bit, and then decided to cut loose.
Perfect executed combination, but nevertheless, never seriously hurt Suico.
With the intensity of the way he goes about things, you wonder why Diaz lacks power. Is it because he gives away his leverage, Emmanuel?
I don't know. It's just very hard for me to see. I think he punches with every punch going for the knockout once again, where his opponents just tighten up their bodies in anticipation of power punches, and therefore he's not that effective. But I don't see that much where it seems like he punches okay to me, but the results is different. And maybe just being in with guys who had a good chin.
What about the way he holds his hand? So punchers always tell me you have to grip the glove really hard, and if you don't, you're giving away the power.
That's what I was concerned about. A lot of times you can't tell that until sometimes I work on the pads with guys and find out they hold their gloves halfway open when they're punching.
And if you're going to throw as many punches as Diaz does, it only stands to reason you might not have a heavy grip in the glove.
And that's why a lot of guys have such speed, because they don't.
Referee's instructions to Shane Mosley. Let's go there right now.
All right, Shane, how you doing? Jack, how are you?
How you doing?
Okay. I've already been in both dressing rooms, and I know both dressing rooms got concerns. So
Correct.
Let me go over the rules, and at any time you feel that you need to interject a particular rule that I'm discussing, don't hesitate.
Right.
Now, the unified rule states that there's no 3 knockdown rule, there's no standing 8 count, and you can't be saved by the bell in any round.
Correct.
I want you to keep all your punches up and in front of the man. No low blows, no rabbit punches, no kidney punches. In the event of a knockdown, a fighter standing is to go to the furthest neutral corner or the corner I direct you to go to and stay there. While I'm working on the down fighter, if you decide to drift out a little bit, I'm going to stop the count, I'm going to put you back, and then I'm going to resume the count. Okay? If your mouthpiece comes out of your mouth, you keep punching, keep fighting. As soon as the action slows down, I'll call time.
And we bring it back into the ring inside. 9th round, scheduled 12. Juan Diaz in the light blue trunks. So far well in control against Randy Suico of the Philippines. Suico's first fight in the 135-pound weight class after career as a 130-pound fighter, and Diaz has spent his entire career in the welterweight class. Juan Diaz 29-0 with 14 KOs coming in, looking for his 30th consecutive pro victory.
The way he's taken punches, Jim, suggests that You know, Suico's claim that he had difficulty making weight and had outgrown the 130-pound class probably was true. That he's at a more natural weight here and stronger than he was before.
Diaz backing Suico up with every shot, chasing him across the ring to keep landing.
And just when it looked like the referee was trying to get ambition to maybe consider stopping the fight, Suico starts punching right back.
Well, and Randy Suico's a strong fighter, willing fighter. You can see his commitment and his courage, and he takes another big right hand upstairs from Diaz.
Yeah. And Joe Cortez seems almost on the edge of stopping this fight.
Well,
yes he does.
Once
it's the accumulation of punishment, often against a fighter who doesn't have the one-shot power to knock you out, which can lead to serious damage. They're very conscious of that here in Las Vegas. They didn't want Randy Suico to take any more clean shots from Juan Diaz.
I was expecting that to happen. And, you know, and they've had some serious deaths here, too. That's why all of these recent changes in the rules that they've come up with. So they're very concerned about someone being hurt here.
All of us still remember what happened to Levander Johnson against Jesus Chavez here last summer. Chavez wasn't quite a big enough puncher to put Johnson away, and that ultimately set the stage for the fatal damage.
But the fight pattern was very similar to this fight here tonight.
Here's another look at how it all ended, with Diaz simply firing away accurately as he had been all night. 28-6 connect advantage in the 9th round, 24 power connects. Amazing high percentage performance by the continually rising star prodigy, Juan Diaz of Houston, Texas. You can see that Suico did damage against him. It's written on his face.
Oh, it was a rough fight for him still. Even though he was, you know, landing punches at will, he still had to be alert, and he got banged around a few good punches himself.
All right, let's go to Michael Buffer with the official particulars on the TKO for Diaz.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand, referee Joe Cortez steps in at 2 minutes and 6 seconds of round number 9, calling a halt to the bout. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated and still WBA lightweight champion of the world, Juan Baby Bull Diaz.
CompuBox numbers on the domination of Randy Suico by Juan Diaz. Diaz landing 254 more punches, throwing 205 less, 98 out of 140. That is a wild swinging effort for Randy Suico. Of the 840 punches he threw, of the 742 that missed, probably 500 of them were blocked by Diaz's gloves. 55% connect percentage on total punches is extraordinarily high. When we go to the power punch numbers, you will see an even more extraordinary number, as there it is. Diaz landed 61% of his power shots against Randy Suico. Just too much punishment, and that ultimately leads to the Joe Cortez stoppage. Another easy victory for the fastest-handed, fluid-throwing combination puncher in boxing, Juan Diaz of Houston, Texas. And a look at Vegas on a clear day. A mere 100 degrees or so. Still to come tonight, Daniel Ponce de Leon of Mexico against Sud Luknonyuntoy of Thailand. And then Shane Mosley against Fernando Vargas in the much-anticipated fan-favorite main event fight. And let's take a look at the next upcoming giant pay-per-view event on HBO Sports.